If you started over in your 30s because you played in your 20s, this video is for you. And I can say this from experience because I had to start over after realizing I spent my whole 20s playing around. When I looked up, I turned 30, I had nothing to show for. There was no stable future in sight. If that sounds like your reality right now, just listen. You are not alone. Hello, my name is Jetta Levi. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, hit like and subscribe down below so we can build community. Push this message out to the people that needs to hear it with your help. If you've been here, welcome back. It's nice to see you. Let's get back into the video. This part is going to be reality check. One of the hardest things about starting over in your 30s is looking at your life and realizing what's actually there. The truth hurts, but the truth will set you free. It's in that moment when you're in your mess and you have to be real honest and transparent with yourself and say, you know what, I got some cleaning up to do. There are some things that I need to change about myself. There is things I need to relearn and unlearn. I do need to get closer to God. I do need to start healing. I do need to be very intentional with the life that I want for myself. For me, it was realizing that I didn't have much to show for in my earlier years. Here I am in my 20s. I spent it all on turning up, going out, seeking validation, having kids early, just doing all the worldly things, drinking, having sex casually, not really pouring into myself and my future. And before you know it, a lot of time slips by. There's no foundation that was built. And the most important part is it wasn't just about me, it was about my son too. And that was the key indicator for me, like, I gotta get in the field and put my big girl panties on. I started questioning myself and wondering if I had done enough to create a life that was sustainable, not just for me, but for my child too. What did I give him that he could utilize when he gets into the real world? But it hits different because now you have this child looking up to you, and you are, including myself, that's there to guide them and show them how to be a person in the world. I remember like it was yesterday when I was at my old place. I was at my old project. At the time, I didn't have a job, but what God gave me in that season when I wasn't working was space to create a foundation for me and my child relationship-wise. When he would come home from school, I would be there waiting for him with food that was cooked on the table. That's when I started being very intentional about the type of mother that I was. I started looking at him like he is deserving of having a quality life, quality people, a better environment, a better education, just having something to look up to. And that's when it all clicked. Like, I gotta get my life together. I gotta get myself together because not only do I deserve it, but my child too. Now, let's get into point two. It was accepting my mess. The hardest part wasn't the situation itself. It was actually accepting it, being fully transparent and honest with myself. And knowing, like, okay, I'm struggling. I don't have a foundation. I don't have quality people in my corner. I don't have resources. I'm still in this project after 14 years. I'm still on government assistance. This is the struggle. This is poverty. But accepting that this was the life that I helped create through my decision making, to the point I had no choice but to take accountability. I couldn't blame anybody. I didn't want to stay in that victim mindset because at one point I was resenting my mother because I felt like I was getting her struggles. But at the same time, I'm responsible for this life God blessed me with. So what can I do? How can I turn this pain into purpose? How can I utilize what God has me right now today to better my future, to propel me to live a better life? So I had to sit in my truth. I had to sit in it. That's the first time in my life when I first started healing, and it was one thing, it was another. God was showing me, like, you got to get your life together. You have to stop playing. You have to stop being so complacent and lackadaisical about life and think everything is going to be handed to you, thinking people are just going to give you what you want. If you say you want this life, that means you have to put in some work. And sitting in my mess wasn't comfortable. It was very uncomfortable because out of the 30 years in my life, I had never been in that space before. I found myself saying to me several times, I never been broke like this. I never made a realization that I was struggling. I never had to tell my son no. But in that season, I went from saying yes all the time to saying no because I didn't have it. But something in me couldn't stay stuck there because there was this desire in my heart that wanted more. And I'm here to tell you, I'm here to testify, if there is something in you that's pulling on your heartstrings, telling you that I want more, I don't want to settle, I don't want this lifestyle anymore, lean into it. That's the Holy Spirit. That is God's way of telling you, I have something better for you. But you have to step out on faith and figure it out. You would have to step out to even see what is that all about. But if you give up or you submit to the world that's around you, you would never be able to connect with that desire. Even though I didn't like where I was, I could not let time keep passing me by. So I had to make a plan and be very strategic on what I wanted my life to look like. And that is a process. That is the part of playing the long game. Just because you start healing, just because you find, you start building a relationship with God does not mean everything is going to happen overnight. This is 4 years. I've been on my journey for 4 years and I still feel like I haven't made it yet. But one thing I do know, I'm not where I used to be. So that lets me know the work that I'm putting in, the investment that I'm doing for myself, it is working. And I truly believe if I keep going and have hope and something that I don't see right now today, God is going to provide me with those blessings. And this is how I look at life. Time is going to pass anyway. If God brought you to it, he's going to bring you through it. So you might as well grow through where you are today and allow it to build your character, allow it to shape and renew your mind and change your heart posture, because it's not the blessing in itself, but it's about who you get to become through the process, who God shapes you and molds you to be when you are enduring, when you are having a season of drought, when you have to start over fresh. Let's get into point 3, and this is the shift in mindset. What shifted for me is realizing something simple but powerful: I want more. And when I started saying my affirmations, I started reciting consistently and I started believing the things I started to say. So eventually in my spirit, I started to believe that I was deserving for a better life. I was deserving of a quality life with quality people, doing all the things that I desire to do. And not just more money, more success, but stability, more peace, and actually living a purposeful life. And I mean, living a life that is worth living. I also had to remind myself that I am better than my circumstances. This is just a season. This is not the end for me. This is not the end for you. Wherever God has you today does not mean that he's going to drop you off and leave you there. You have to trust that the season, the enduring, the circumstance, the trials and tribulations is going to serve for your good. There's purpose behind it. I've been through heartbreak. I went without transportation for 18 months. I didn't have a job. I went from telling my son yes to always telling him no. I had no real stability. I was on the system. I was in the projects for 14 years. I was resenting my mother. There was anger in my spirit. I was brokenhearted from a relationship. There has been so many things that has transpired in the last 4 years since I've started healing. But God used all of those things to exalt me, to propel me to a different height. And that's mentally, and that's spiritually, physically, all of these things. If that first moment didn't happen in my life, I don't know where I would be. I don't think it would be here. So I'm going to challenge you and tell you, if he did it for me, he could do it for you. Wherever God has you today, use that as a moment to strengthen your faith with Jesus. Build your relationship with God through your circumstance and watch how he brings you through it. Watch how he brings you through it. You're going to feel more resilient. You're going to feel stronger. And you're going to feel like whatever life brings your way, you'll be able to get through it. You'll be able to manage it because you remember the past seasons God has brought you out of. I don't care where life takes me. I don't care what I endure, because we're not exempt from facing adversities. But I do know one thing. I remember my past and I know who I am today. So that's living proof. If he did it then, he'll do it now. Come on, somebody. If he did it then, he'll do it now. So when he takes you through these seasons of drought and he strips you, of the impurities and all these things, pride, resentment, anger, lust, and just things of this world, just know he's doing a new thing in you. He has not forgotten about you. He has not forgotten about you. Where you are right now today, God can really use you. He can transform you. This is it's nothing but preparation. God wasn't doing anything but preparing me. He was preparing me for where he wants to take me. And I still haven't made it yet, but I truly know everything that I have encountered, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, it has prepared me. I have depth, I have substance, my character is different. I'm still a work in progress. Don't ever get it twisted. I still have things that I have to work on. And that's why I keep God close, because I'm an imperfect person. I'm flawed. But that doesn't mean God doesn't love me. That doesn't mean God forgot about you. Let's get into point 4, breaking cycles. Whew, let's talk about it. You don't realize all the cycles that needs to be broken till you find yourself in a season where you don't know if you're coming or going. And you start to wake up. You start to really see life for what it truly is. You start to see the patterns, the cycles. Yes, baby. Yes, honey.
I'm back.
Okay, I'll pay him. You start to really see the cycles, the patterns, the habits that have been engraved in you since you was a child. You really start to see like, okay, I got some things I gotta break. And it is not easy changing your habits, but if you be adamant and you be intentional and you keep God close, it is possible. And that's the part of starting over. When God gives you the ability and renew you and give you a clean slate, he allows you to start over, right? That's when something real happens, because you have to break those cycles. You have to break those same cycles that your family didn't break, that your mother, your grandmother, your father did not break, your great-grandmother. If you keep making the same choices, you are going to keep getting the same results. We already know where the results would lead. Hence, this is why you are where you are. It doesn't feel good. You don't like what life is showing you right now. You don't like struggling. You don't like raising your kids by yourself. You don't like living paycheck to paycheck. You don't want to be gossiping and having casual sex and turning up and trying to fill voids through the worldly things. You don't like the way that feels. That's why you're here. But I had to be honest with myself, just like you have to be honest with yourself about the patterns that we need to let go of, whether that's habits, your environment, people, or even versions of ourselves that we outgrow. I couldn't cling to that woman God was stripping me away of, separating me from. The woman in my past, I had to let that person go. I remember when I had one foot in and one foot out, I had to let it go. If I wanted this new thing, if I wanted to live a purposeful life, I wanted to live a peaceful life, a life that was meaningful, I had to let the old me go. And you do too. You have to separate yourself. You have to cut ties. Not with shame, but with growth and embracing that. Don't be shameful of your past and where God has brought you out of. Use it as a testimony. Use it as being delivered and God has rectified your life. Use it as a growth opportunity. Because in that moment, when you grow, that means you have character, you have different layers, you have substance that you can give to the world, that you can share with your children. Those same cycles that your parents didn't break, you have the information now, you have the knowledge, you have the wisdom from that. So now you can carry into the future generation. The things that God chose me to break and that I'm still breaking, now I get to use that same, now I can use that same information to help my son. I let him know what he was born into and things that he's going to have to break as well. Because of me saying yes to God, because of me healing and getting closer to God so he can strip me and work in me and through me. Don't be afraid of that. Let him do that. And it's not the season in the past that got you where you are, but it's who you becoming that's going to actually move you forward. And I had to understand that. My past is the past. I can't redo that. I can't keep talking about the things that I wish I would have did. When you know better, you do better. Had I known, maybe so. But I didn't. So that's where the grace comes in at, that we have to give ourselves, because we didn't know. But once you know, that's when you do better. That's when you propel. That's where you use that information to actually grow. As we get ready to close this video out, here's my challenge for you. If you relate to this, don't just watch it and move on. That's not the point of this. I'm not coming up on this platform just to hear myself talk. I'm coming on here to actually help the women that want to be helped, to help the girls that's in a season that I once was in. I'm here to show up for the girls and be that woman that I wish I would have had 4 years ago when I was going through heartbreak, when I didn't have a car, when I didn't have answers, when I didn't know what I should do and I just couldn't figure it out. I'm here to tell you from my living experience and what I went through. Ask yourself, what is one thing I can change starting today? Is it your discipline, your finances, your education, your community, how you love on yourself, how you love on your children, your mindset? Start small, but start intentional, because you can't step into a new season while holding tight to the old one. And grace is real. God gives us grace and mercy every single day because he loves us so much. He loves us so much. Through our sin, through our ups and downs, through the highs and the lows, the things are not so pretty parts, things that we did that we probably should have did, that we not too fond of or not too excited to talk about. He still gives us grace through those moments. But grace isn't an excuse either to stay stuck. It's permission to start again right where you are today. So take it, embrace it, use it. You got this. I'm right here with you. And thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Bye.